It's really a tough question to answer.
And by the same token, if Batman hadn't come out until, let's say, Batman Begins, right? I mean, that's really, to me, where they really kind of started it. Because even when the X-Men came out, trades and graphic novels coming out of the companies weren't a huge deal. It wasn't until Quesada took over at Marvel that you really started to see a focus on putting out stuff from their past to be able to, so people who didn't have $300 or $400 to go pick up Days of Future Past in all of the actual issues could sit there and read it. With that, really I put that at Batman Begins. Because even in the early part of 1999, 2000, 2001, they couldn't do that with the X-Men movies.
Yeah, they did. They did a little bit of that with Spider-Man. I remember. My wife had gotten me a collector's edition Spider-Man DVD box set, and it came with a comic book special reprint, and there was a couple DVDs in there alongside the movie. So I mean, they've been doing it a little bit, but to go back to the question, I don't know. I think that a lot of it would have been there would have been heavy saturation, but nowhere near as much. Because let's face it, back in the 80s, there was television, newspaper, and word of mouth. And, posters and whatnot. Nowadays, with there being so much more, or so many more ways to advertise, I think Joe and his AR reps got a really good thing going. And, yeah, because of that, they're oversaturating the market. And it's a smart move, because for the non-fanboy that's not sitting at this table, who's just hearing, or who knows about, okay, there's a group out there of Avengers, or knows about Iron Man or Captain America, but sees all of this coming together, this is like the mecca, the moment event. Because if they never read comic books, or they have little exposure, they're not used to superhero team-ups.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I say for the last 5-6 years, that these last, since Iron Man came out, basically, these are the years that longtime Avengers or Marvel fans have finally been waiting for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you agree, Rick, on that one?
Yes, I would. Yeah.
I mean, because, it's, and the fact that they had that plan right from the beginning to build each movie onto the next, until it culminated in Avengers was unbelievably smart on their part.
Absolutely.
And that took a lot of foresight for them.
Being as old as we are, when you look back and you follow the Avengers from like the first book right on straight through, now with it being out on film, you really hope that you're going to be around for the episodes where they try to follow the storyline, say of maybe 20 years ago.
Exactly.
So,
but I mean, my big problem not only with the trades, because here's an example. I did a review about 3 months ago, of one of the Avengers trade paperbacks that came out. It was Volume 1 of I Am an Avenger. And basically, all it did was it took each issue from the original to up to about the mid-90s. It took only the issue where the Avengers lineup is changed and printed that in trade paperback form. Which, great. I mean, so you can see all the different people who've been an Avenger. That's great. But if you don't know these characters, I mean, if you're targeting this at an audience that doesn't know anything about the Avengers, you've basically shot yourself in the foot, because you're dealing with, one of them was the middle issue of a 3-story arc. But they only printed that middle issue where the Avengers lineup changes. The issue before, the issue after, you don't know what's going on. You're just basically walking into the story in the middle of it, and oh look, the people that you might be looking for from the previous issue, yeah, they're gone. So that to me kind of, didn't make sense. And then they put 2 of those out, a Volume 1 and a Volume 2. The first one went up to the 90s, and then the second one went from the 90s up to today. And I'm like, I'm not even picking up the second one. I didn't like the first one. In fact, if I remember correctly, I kind of gave it a crappy review based on that. But then you got the actual regular titles. I mean, you walk into a store today and you've got Avengers, Avengers Dark, Secret Avengers, Avengers West Coast renamed, Lakeside Avengers,
Yep.
Old Folk Home Avengers. There's 15 different titles now practically for Avengers. Why?
you said it yourself. AR and Joe Quesada, they're doing their thing. They're trying to milk the industry for exactly what it is. They're trying, and it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But for a fanboy, sometimes the original or the A-team, the A-list, is exactly what it is. I mean, that's why Justice League made such a huge comeback. I don't remember how many years ago. It wasn't okay. It wasn't Firestorm and some dude who we haven't seen in 20 years and one A-lister. It was, oh my God, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern.
All back together again.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like, let the good times roll. And Justice League shot up tremendously.
It was the Grant Morrison era there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, something like that book, it's great to know who was an Avenger, but I think that's more for, like, the fanboy in training. But if they're going to do something like that, they should have done follow-ups. Okay, in case you like this story arc, you can download the digital copy of Part 1 and Part 3 right here.
Yeah.
That would have made sense. And if Joe's listening, hey, idea, let me get some of the credit for that.
Now, like, one of the new titles that they've just put out is Avengers Assembled. And it's very specific because it only has the Avengers in it from the movie. Because, I mean, like, I've said this before, when you go to the comic store and you go to pick up Captain America, they had, when they did the whole Death with Steve Rogers thing, they had to actually say, okay, well, a Captain America movie's in the works for such and such date. So we've only got such and such date to have Bucky Barnes as Captain America, and then we've got to put Steve Rogers back in there, or else people are going to go, who the heck is this Bucky Barnes guy? Wait, in the movie he wasn't Captain America, the other guy was.
Yeah.
Why is he Captain America now? So what they did, because right now they've got the Red Hulk in the main Avengers team. Yes.
This is what happens when you don't read an issue for X amount of time. I'm kind of shocked at that.
And I barely knew who Red Hulk was.
I still don't know who he is.
You remember General Ross, the guy who was always chasing Hulk?
Yeah, with the
Apparently
Hulkbusters.
he's the Red Hulk.
What?
Yes. That's what I found out from looking at Wikipedia.
Well, that's irony in a cup.
Because I was like, I heard that, the issue's out where you find out who he is. And I'm like, well, that's great. Let me look it up on Wikipedia because I'm not going to pay $3 for it. So,
just to recap. General Ross, the guy who said Hulk is a menace, Hulk is a danger to the environment, Hulk is basically the worst thing since, tofu burgers. No offense.
None taken.
Well, yeah. Is
he
like,
doesn't strike me as a tofu guy.
Well, I'm not just saying that to Rick or to you. I'm saying that to our audience. No offense, tofu burgers are tasty. But basically the guy who was completely against the Hulk and everything Hulk associated is now the Red Hulk, smashing and crashing and bashing. I mean, didn't the Red Hulk...
Oh, no, because the Red Hulk's smart. The Red Hulk is actually General Ross with intelligence, with General Ross's intelligence.
Oh, so he's like Grey Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, even
Except
still...
Grey Hulk was another personality. Red Hulk is General Ross with General Ross's personality. At least that's what I've learned from Wikipedia. So.
Yeah, I'm going to drink a glass of Haterade to that one.
Yeah. But, I mean, but let's be honest. We're all looking forward to the movie. We're obviously going to do a podcast about that when it comes out. So,
True.
My next topic... Oh, I'm sorry. Rick, you had something
I just wanted to close that by saying 2 words, Scarlett Johansson.
Everyone, please make sure if you go into the theater after Rick, you wipe the goggles off very, very carefully.
OMG. OMG.
Okay, so my next bit of news, which is, of course, what I always look forward to, is Doctor Who news.
Oh, yes, yes.
All right, so if anybody, has been living under a rock for the past 2 weeks or so.
That's me.
Yeah. They have announced a new companion for the upcoming season of Doctor Who. Her name is Jenna Louise Coleman. She's going to be coming in, I think, around the Christmas special. I'm not honestly sure. There's very little information I picked up from the Doctor Who website. But she is, was she 24, I think I heard?
She was actually in a Marvel movie just recently.
Yeah, she was in Captain America, actually.
Yeah.
So
don't ask me what role she was, because I looked. Still can't find her.
I think she's one of the 2 girls that Bucky picks up at the beginning of the film.
No way.
I think. I haven't gone back and looked yet, so I don't know.
You go from blowing off Captain America to hooking up with the Doctor.
Can you blame her?
Hey,
I'm a super soldier. Hey, I go everywhere. I go to every planet in the universe at any time in that planet's history.
Further cliche is that women go for the guy with the bigger car.
And I can fix anything with my little electronic screwdriver.
It's a sonic screwdriver.
I stand corrected.
That's right.
I'm not going to touch that one after the comment I just made.
It's absolutely sonic. But here's the article if you guys want to take a look at the picture of her.
I've read this already, but
yeah,
Rick,
I
have
think
at me.
She's I'll probably post a picture of her up with the podcast. She's very attractive. She's very young. She looks like she might fit into what they're trying to picture between her and Matt Smith for the upcoming season. I'd have to I can never say anything bad about a Doctor or companion before I see them.
I can.
Well, you can.
I can, only for the fact that I'm still waiting for the time when the Doctor gets a male companion, not as an add-on to accompany him and the lady, but you think about the supporting characters for Doctor Who.
Yeah.
All the male supporting characters were awesome.
Yes. Well, with one notable exception.
Okay.
Adric.
Okay. Okay.
I liked Adric, but my thing is, and it's the same thing as Matthew Waterhouse, who played Adric in the original series, is they basically wrote him way too whiny.
I can see that.
And that was my biggest problem with it is, okay, you're making this guy a little too whiny, a little too unlikable. No wonder people don't want him on the show. No wonder they killed him off.
Okay, well, with the exception of that one, looking at mainly, in my personal opinion, the past several years, the past 3 different Doctors, I mean, come on. All the guy supporting characters that were main supporting characters were goodness in a cup. I mean, you look at Rory, you look at, oh God, his name escaped, Mickey, Captain Jack, those are just 3. And you know what? All of them are I would love to see Mickey come back with Matt and Rory and just go on a guy vacation, road trip with his buddies and just save the universe one day. That would be awesome.
You could always pitch that idea to IDW, who does the Doctor Who comic.
I want that credit too.
Copyright Dante. But I'm looking forward to the new season. Obviously, one of my best friends, Tim. He actually his wife had surgery recently, so he basically used that as an opportunity to make her watch Doctor Who.
Nice.
And once again, we have another convert. Hi, Becky. How'd you like that season? Because that's the thing. I mean, I sat down with Omar, who originated this podcast, Rick, who hadn't seen Doctor Who to save his life. And then I sat him down one day when I was in Kentucky with him. We watched like 2 episodes, hooked. Then he made his wife sit down and watch a couple episodes, hooked. Everybody I have sat down and watched this show with has gotten hooked.
It's true.
Because you can't get unhooked from the show. There are people now in South Carolina who are still like, I haven't seen the new season yet because I don't want to watch it until you come down here.
Can I date myself here? Because my Doctor Who fan-type era was between Tom Baker and John Pertwee.
It would have been the 3rd Doctor Pertwee and 4th Doctor Baker. So that would have been...
That's when I was watching on TV.
Yeah, that's when I started watching it back when I was a kid here in town.
Wow.
Yeah, so I still have my Doctor Who scarf that my mother made for me when I was like 11.
I've seen him in reruns. I'm a little too young to be able to be privileged to see those on television for the first time.
Most of them are on Netflix, though.
I agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
So I think they're all out there almost.
Well, every episode that's available, as far as I know, is now officially out on video.
Yeah.
Or on DVD. I know there was just an article I read in the latest Doctor Who issue where they were talking about they just found a couple of more episodes of the missing episodes.
Were they beamed back from space?
No, actually, they found them, if I remember correctly, somewhere in, I want to say, Newfoundland.
Oh, nice.
Because what it is the BBC destroyed a lot of the master prints of early 1st and 2nd Doctor Who stories without confirming that they had a backup somewhere. So there are whole stories of Doctor Who that are just gone. Unless, they find them, like what they've been doing lately over the last 20, 30 years is they find when they sold them to other countries, they distribute film prints to them, and somebody will find a
That's
print.
where they're showing up.
Yeah, somebody will find a missing print of episode
that's-
2 of something in Mumbai somewhere,
Or
and
they
sell
come
it back
back from
to the BBC.
space.
So they don't come from space.
Well, the